Golson, more of a run around and throw the ball, make plays, and Sean, he stand in the pocket a lot and throw the ball down the field. But both of them are great quarterbacks.
You said before you'd rather have a guy who just stands there in the pocket. So if it is Golson, what type of challenge does he bring on Saturday?
I mean, he's not going to be hard to tackle as Jacoby was. I feel like we can pressure him, get in his face, and make him run around. And that's what we want him to do, throw off the run. So I think we would be ready for any challenge the quarterback they give us.
You said outside the locker room Saturday night you were ready, focused already on Florida State. When did you start taking a look at them?
Oh, when I had got back home that night, yeah, I've been waiting for this since last year. I mean, I feel like we owed them one. It was a disappointing loss last year because we feel like on tape we had beat them, but the scoreboard showed we didn't. So I feel like we owed them one this year.
That much more point to 51-14 2 years ago, but Dabo says, I think these guys really look to last year. What is it about last year's game that was so frustrating?
The fact that we had them, up down there. We had a lot of things go wrong that game. We didn't have any luck going in that game, and we just felt like we was the better team that night, and it showed on film.
Does that really motivate you guys that pretty much everyone on this team is looking for their first win against Florida State?
Oh, yes, sir. It motivates a lot. We know they're in our way of what we need to do to go to the ACC championship, so we got to take care of business this Saturday.
Talk about Dalvin Cook and his abilities and what he brings to the table. You're going to see if he's cleared to play, which he more than likely will be cleared to play. Tell us about you guys' what you've seen on film and how you plan to attack him.
He was a great back. One of the best back in the nation. We just gotta do like we've been doing all year against running backs. Game tackle. We're gonna be a big part of this game, and we just need everybody to play their best game Saturday.
Will we see a more ticked off Clemson defense this weekend because you guys are coming off a game where you surrendered 41?
Oh yes, sir. We more down in this week. Last week we just had a little technique problems. We're going to clean up this week and get everything right. So we'll be ready. That game from last week is behind us now, so we got a big test coming in Saturday, so we'll be ready for them.
Ben said they threw a lot of plays.
Is playing Florida State, the team that set the standard for the last several years, is it a little bit different than playing NC State or Syracuse?
No, not at all. I don't think so at all. I think that every game is exactly the same. We just come out and play like we're supposed to, and like we'll do what we've always done. We get the results we deserve. I mean, you can't like look at one game being more important than the other, no matter who it is, because I mean, if you do that, then that's how teams, over prepare or under prepare for other teams. You like take stuff for granted. You like can't do that. You're like that just like puts everything like in different perspectives, and that's just how like good teams lose to teams that they shouldn't lose to.
Has this game become as close or even more important to you guys now as the South Carolina rivalry? Obviously, it's a conference game, so it means more. But it seems like Florida State's almost become a rival almost as big as the Gamecocks have.
I guess you could say it. That's for me, it's really another game. Another opportunity to go out there and show what I got and try to get another win. For this program and university. So I guess you could say it. It's really what people think of these two teams.
With that said, one of the goals on the wall is win the Atlantic Division. You win this game, you win the Atlantic Division. Do you think about that at all, or is the goals just bigger at this point than just that? That's just one of them.
Of course we think about it because that's the next biggest one. To get to where we want to go, we have to win this game. And they're in our way. So, of course it's going to be big. We have the opportunity to achieve that goal again.
I mean, let's just be honest. There is a different feeling, right, amongst you guys knowing the states and who you're playing?
I don't feel it.
How do you not feel it?
Because, I'm just treating it like it's the next game. There's nothing big about it. We just got to beat the next opponent.
Even with what's at stake, if you lose?
Oh, that's big. It's a pretty big stake ahead, and we gotta we got to beat this next team to really get to where we want to go. But in practice, man, it's that straight focus that we've always had.
What makes this team so special where they can really just have that mindset? Because it seems everyone I talk to, they really had just to be focused in on the preparation. What makes this team so special that they can tune everything out and just focus on what is important?
I just think having a great leader in Coach Sweeney, he does a great job in leading us and giving us, the right words to have the right mindset. And he preaches every day. And
if you lose Saturday, your dreams will be crushed in terms of the goals you want to be accomplishing this year. So do you treat this a little differently than maybe the other ones, knowing the stakes? Or does it feel different?
I mean, just with this game, just because Florida State's won our division the last 3 years, or actually played for it for the last 3 years, they're definitely standing in our way of getting where we want to be, which is ACC champs, and then go on to the playoffs and stuff like that. But they definitely stand in our way. It's definitely a bigger game just because we haven't beat them in the last 3 years. So, yeah, I mean, there's definitely a little bit more behind it. We're just gonna treat it. We're gonna try to treat it like every other game, but still, it's gonna be a little bit bigger than most of them.
Easier said than done to treat it like every other week?
Yeah, it's definitely easier said than done. We're just gonna have to focus, just not think about it. But I mean, just in the back of everybody's mind. I know in the back of my mind. I mean, it's FSU. They beat us for the last 3 years, so. But we're just gonna.
Florida State is definitely a rivalry game here, for both teams, and we want to go in the ACC championship, and obviously they do too. So, but definitely not ever winning against them is, it's almost as bad as some guys that didn't get to beat South Carolina, because it's not so much as an in-state rivalry like us in South Carolina, but it's an ACC rivalry, and it's a lot of the times, not every year, but a lot of the times it's, whoever wins this game goes on to the ACC championship. So, it's definitely adds some extra incentive.
Is this by far, along with South Carolina, the biggest game that you guys circle on the calendar at the start of each year?
Well, we always try and take it, obviously, game to game, and, you can't look anyone over. Look at these teams that started out slow in the year. They may have looked some teams over. But, it's definitely a team that whenever you get to it, you really, you're always focused in, but you just have that laser focus, and you're just always trying to, everything's got to be perfect. You look at, you're definitely eating right that week. You're doing everything right that week. So, yeah, it's definitely a game that once you get to it, you're just zoom focused that week.
Are you aware of the rest
challenges you present for your team?
He's fast, good balance, strong, got good instincts, plays with, runs with power, good pace to him, very competitive, brings a lot to their team as far as leadership and confidence as well. But he's a home run back for sure. But I think it's averaging 8 yards a carry. And he blocks, he protects. He does it well. He'll knock somebody on the ground in protection, and then he'll turn around and catch the football on a check down and run it for 40. And that's very typical on any particular drive. You can find those kinds of plays. So he can do it all.
Coach Sweeney mentioned earlier today that no matter who the quarterback is, FSU's offense runs the same. But are there any little things about the two guys that concern you?
Well, they move the pocket with both guys. McGuire's a good athlete. It all concerns you just from a scheme and structural standpoint. You've got good players around them. But Golson is a little bit more athletic, and but they'll run the option with both. And when the boot plays and the sprint outs and all that with both too. So it really is.
This is one of those games when you get your schedule, you're always trying to figure out when you're playing Florida State. It'd be a big challenge as always. Very athletic across the board at every position. Number 9, Josh Sweat, is a really quick twitch guy, defensive end. He'll be one of the quicker guys we've played coming off the edge, so he'll be a challenge. Jalen Ramsey, number 8, is one of the best corners in the country, and one of the best that we'll face all year long. But really our message to our guys this week is going to be the same it's been every week, I give Coach Sweeney a lot of credit. He's done a great job of really focusing our players each and every week on, the next game is the biggest game of the year. And so we'll take that same mentality in this week and really just trust our plan that we've had all year long and, our preparation, just stay committed to the way that we've prepared and, go out and execute. At the end of the day, it comes down to us executing, but right now we're playing at a high level.
Obviously, the implications of this one matter so much more. That typically happens as you get through the season. Do you guys feel the magnitude and the weight of this game weighing on you yet?
Not really. Our coaches do such a great job of, just downplaying the game, just making sure that we know it's just another game. But there are, exactly like you said, this is basically the divisional championship. With a win Saturday, they're going to bring in the trophy and, we'll be playing in Charlotte. So we really just try and put that in the back of our minds. But like, they say, it's just another game.
Why not embrace the opportunity as opposed to trying to just treat it like every other week?
Maybe with 39 freshmen, they're not ready for that. They don't want to, take that all in. So we're going to try and low play it as much as we can.
Eric.